Note, there is no full frontal nudity here, but typical Super Sentai and other Relia tokusatsu teasing only. This is also the type of nudity that happens in cartoons. Somewhere in the Power Rangers universe 2005, a handsome young man with big muscles was about to a warm shower. His name was Cole Evans, the original Red Wild Force Ranger. He always had a huge female fan base, which he always tried to avoid. Running away from the crazy female fans is something, said Cole, who was going into the hotel where he was staying in South Korea. He was in South Korea as part of his job, helping in a wildlife project, and also he was joining a martial arts competition as a martial artist. The match was in fact one of the most intense in his whole life. He never expected to win the gold medal. Well, the work for today is done, said Cole as he began to take off his shirt. Now he entered the shower after he had taken his clothes off. The room was now full of steam from the hot water. I guess the events last night was just a dream. Me? To fight a war and save a world? Oh, that's just crazy. I've been there and done that, but I do have to admit, I may not be so human after all, said Cole as he recalled his battles. He had done his work for the day of helping animals and training youngsters in the art of self-defense. He was learning various martial arts from his East in his journey. He was in fact studying martial arts, hoping he could use his knowledge to continue his battle against environmental destruction. He terribly missed his friends whose pictures he kept in his room, even if he wasn't alone. He finally got out of his shower, wrapping his waist with a towel and closing the curtains of his room. Wow, I feel so refreshed after that warm shower, said Cole. Looks like I'll be watching TV or reading books for an hour, and I'll be doing more bodybuilding and training for kung fu. Too bad I haven't found a girlfriend yet, and I definitely don't want to choose from all these chasers. But I do wonder who that pretty Japanese girl I saw in my dreams I saw by a cherry blossom field. I hope she's real. Looks like I found the one I'm looking for. That strength, that body, the purity of his heart, all the attributes are present in this young man. That is him, said Akka Red, who turned invisible, who was going to open a portal. In an instant, Cole was bathed in a red light as he removed his towel, as he was going to put on his clothes, ready to wear his house clothes. But he wasn't given enough time, as Akka Red could not wait. He seemed the moment was now. Hey, what's happening to me? Asked Cole as he was warped away from his room to another dimension at the worst possible scenario. Back to the Sentai year 1979. The opening of a portal happened with the roar of a lion. A red flash occurred like never before. It was done by Akka Red, who had entered into Cole, but waited for the right opportunity to explain to him his actions. Oh god, did you really have to word it like that? I mean, you already made him sound like a pervert. Hey, what the? Where am I? Said Cole in his mind. However, as he looked around, he realized he was totally naked as he last exited. Oh my, I can't believe I am caught in a time warp at the worst possible time, said Cole. It was definitely a very bad way to enter the Super Sentai universe. It was just another regular day, and he faces destiny in the most terrible way. He was really upset about being taken to Tokyo in a worst-case scenario yet. Oh, I can't believe I have to walk around like this, said Cole. Cole was totally humiliated as people were staring at him, making his face blush red. It looked like the effects of messing with time isn't very good, especially for this naive young man. Little did Cole know he was about to face a greater destiny. Women admired his muscular physique topped with a handsome face while others were throwing stuff at him. Things were getting worse for the young man. Hey you, get out of the streets! Some men throwing stuff at him. Yeah, you're a disgrace from whatever planet you are, said some of the older women. It happened that some of the women in Tokyo were growing near. All were pretty interested in thinking he was a deity. Cole was nervous at the attention he was getting from the crowd. Hey there, handsome. I guess you can take me out, said one woman. What about me? I saw him first, said another woman. Hey, can't you see I'm in a bad situation here, said Cole. Besides, I'm not interested. Ow, said one woman, who left him, again exposing his nakedness. Some of the superstitious folks decided he was a heaven-sent person, as they noticed he came out of nowhere. Oh, great one, we are at your service, said a shaman. This couldn't get any worse.
This isn't funny!
Hoji and Tetsu were sent to investigate the portals. They noticed the portal was there and Cole was. This is so crazy. I can't believe that suddenly somebody would break the law by popping in indecently like that. I don't think he's an alienator, but still, we've got to deal with this violator and potential pervert. This guy's got to be taught a lesson one way or another, said Hoji. Hoji and Tetsu came forward. "You there, I believe you better come with us to headquarters, mister. You are making a disgrace out of yourself here," said Hoji. "Believe me, whoever you are, I just popped in for my shower and all," said Cole, who was in total embarrassment of the situation. "Nonsense. Nobody just pops out of the shower that way," said Tetsu. "Oh, you better come with us, mister." "Get in the car, quick," said Hoji. "Oh, thanks," said Cole in a rather humiliated manner. But before Cole could get in the car, willingly hoped that his arrest would hide his shame, Trakina and Long suddenly showed up. Trakina was planning to get some of Cole's DNA as she felt she could use it. She was secretly collecting DNA samples from the various male Rangers to accept her for her sinister experiments. Tetsu and Hoji transformed into their Deca Ranger forms to take care of the Rinchis. Deca Blue fired his sniper gun. Cole was able to get into the car after Deca Blue fired at Long, allowing them to escape. Deca Green also did his part. "I better call for help," said Deca Green. "Do so," said Deca Blue, "or we'll be mincemeat. On the other hand, this naked man will just have to stay here in the car." "We'll have a lot of things to know about you where you come from," said Deca Green. "For the meantime, just stay there." "Whew, that was a close one," said Cole, who was still in a rather humiliating situation, believing that this was just not his day. He was inside the car himself. The Battle Fever J team were alerted to a fight downtown. Shinken Red got on his motorcycle and the rest of the team got into their car. They reached downtown fast as a result of Japan not being too prone to traffic and ran into Deca Green and Deca Blue with Cole inside their car. "Hoji, Tetsu, what's going on here? They didn't enter the Search Guard time train with us," said Pink Ranger 1. "Maybe you weren't listening at all, Kimberly. Director Aya was sending in scouts, and the Search Guard time train are meant for our resting station, though I wonder why it's called a train. It's more of a trailer since it doesn't. We just know who got in and who got out," said Shinken Red. "They draped themselves in the vassal-like costumes, and soon enough we all will too. Just to lend a helping hand," said Shinken Gold, who was beating up some of the Griams. "Can't you keep track of what foot soldiers you're using at all?" "Let's not get distracted and just keep fighting," said Shinken Red. Let's get the heroes to escape back to the future." In the blink of an eye, the police car disappeared with a related time warp function. Cole was glad to have gotten out of the scenario. He was glad to be moving away from the shame of his entry. Shinken Red released his fire sword attack on Long and Trakina. "A lion beating a dragon. Not cool," said Long, who was attacked by Shinken Red. Shinken Gold was moving too fast for Trakina's annoyance, to causing her to lose her cool. "I never expected this moron to be that fast," said Trakina, as she was knocked down one attack after another. Just as she was about to lose her cool, Lighter Monster finally showed up. "The monster is here, Trakina. Let us retreat," said Long. "I can't agree with you more," said Trakina, who already had a few of Cole's DNA for her future sinister purposes. "Well, we better be going now," said Deca Blue. "Well, let's drive this baby back in time." Lighter Monster, on the other hand, was now attacking the Battle Fever J team. In Trakina's mind, she knew the heroes will help end the fight easily. On the other hand, the trap will be sprung. The Questers returned to the Vyrock to report to their leader, who were sent to do some scout duty. "Sire, the trap will soon be sprung," said Guy. "And when that happens, the robot will be caught," said Ree. "Remember, do not damage the robot. Egos must have it intact. It would be fun to see Egos use it against the Battle Fever team and humanity," said Radiguet. "Signing out. You two return to base via the teleporter." "Yes, sir," said Guy and Ree. They disappeared. Long and Trakina were glad that the two were out for now. "Good riddance, those two are so annoying," said Trakina. "I agree," said Long, "although they're pretty badass if you ask me. They could help us after all, but they do have their annoying sense of humor." "But don't forget they are too sadistic," said Trakina concerning the Questers. Back to the battle. The Battle Fever J team was getting help from the heroes of the future. When the Lighter Monster was trying to roast them, Shinken Red stepped in to fight fire with fire. "All right, it's time to fight fire with fire," said Shinken Red. In a blazing instant, the Shinken Red's flaming blade overheated Lighter Monster to the point he was defeated. "Thanks, Takeru," said Battle Japan. "Now let's finish off this monster with the pentacannon." Egos finally sent out the lighter robot to fight. The monster is using too much fire, said Battle France. I think I know what to do. We can fire the cannons while it's building up, said Miss America. I think that will work, said Battle Japan. While the lighter monster was charging, they fired their cannons, causing the monster to destroy itself from inside. All right, it's stunned. Now's our chance, said Battle Enya. Okay, let's finish this off. Once Lighter Robot is defeated, Battle Fever Robot will soon be trapped by chains. It was all set up. Hey, what the? Said Battle Japan, noticing the robot was tied down by heavy chains. We're chained down, said Battle France. This isn't good, said Miss America. The heroes from the future were stunned. A trap was set. I can't believe it, said Shinken Red. This is pretty drastic. A very clever trap was set up all along, said Pink Ranger 1. That should be no surprise to most of us, said Shinken Gold. Back at Ego's headquarters, Long and Turkina made an entrance. We have done as we promised, said Long. Right now the robot will be under your control. That's good, said Satan Egos. It won't be long. We'll torture the Battle Fever team with it. Perhaps Salome can take it for a spin, said Header. It would be fun to see her pilot the robot to destroy the city. Maybe we should do it both, said Salome. Then why not, said Header. You're always the tougher one. On the other hand, we might as well help you get rid of the Battle Fever J team, said Long. At the battlefield, both Header and Salome finally entered the scene. Long and Turkina did too. Now it is time to initiate electric shock, said Long. The Battle Fever team was forcibly thrown out of their robot. Long and Turkina teleport both Header and Salome out of the robot. Oh no, they finally have our robot, said Battle Japan. This is terrible. Who knows what mischief they can do, said Miss America. In an instant, Header and Salome finally had control of the robot. The chains were released and they began to attack the city. The Battle Fever J could not attack their own equipment. This would be fun to watch them, said Header, who began crashing in buildings with the Battle Fever Robo. We don't have a choice. We must retreat for now, as we just don't stand a chance against them at this moment, said Battle Japan. I think we can do it pretty fast, said Shinken Red. Teleport function on! The Battle Fever J team, together with Shinken Red, Shinken Gold, Boken Blue, Black Ranger 1, and Pink Ranger 1, disappeared into thin air. They'll be back. They can't resist the cries of the innocent. That will soon be the downfall, if you ask me. That is indeed real pleasure, said Long. As the United Alliance of Evil gets its plans going, will the Super Sentai and Power Rangers survive this ordeal? Find out in the next episode. So yeah, this chapter is actually a two-parter, but they probably didn't need it to be if they hadn't spent so much time giving away the secret ending and actually focusing on, the plot. Oh, and that stuff with Cole? Oh, God. See you next week when our heroes try to reclaim their giant robot, and see how well that goes.